What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning at the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Poseidon as well. We have 3antozz, the Soulsy run back here in game number 2 of this best of 3 that these two fantastic gentlefolk decided to play this morning. And we do have 3antozz. He's already moving over here. He's found himself his 4 rhinoceros. This is the 4 rhinoceros Savannah spawn. My favorite of the Savannah spawns, but also one of my lesser favorite of the Savannah spawns. Part of me loves the ones where you don't get any hunt in your starting line of sight, find one rhino, and then you have to really adapt and have like one really big bag of giraffe. Another part of me says I kind of feel like just being brain dead in the classical age and just having perfect hunt. But we do see 3antozz getting very unlucky here with his lure, bringing in one of his rhino over here. Feels bad for him, but you know, that's what you get for playing Poseidon. As we're now starting to see this map over here, we've got a very, very small amount of hunt here on this map. We've got 3 gazelle apiece, as well as 3 giraffe here. And what is this start here for Kimo? He has not found his rhino, but he has found his giraffe over here. So he's moved forward. And right now, what Kimo's expecting is what Kimo thinks, and this is not a bad thing. Like this is what I would think if I was in Kimo's perspective, seeing the map as he's seeing it right now. I would say this is the 1 rhino Savannah build, or 1 rhino Savannah spawn here, and I don't know where my rhino is. My rhino could be here. It could be here. I'm definitely not thinking it's here. This is so far away from my base, but he's wrong, or I'm wrong, and we'll see if Kimo even made that assumption or not. But right now, he's fine. He is eating these giraffe, but he's about to be finished up on it, and he has found his gazelle over on this location. The villagers are starting to eat these gazelle, and we'll see if Kimo's going to scout around here and spot this or not. Meanwhile, 3antozz has done the first couple of rings around his base. He has found himself the Khopesh of Horus. This relic is not crazy amazing in this matchup, but it definitely does help against those Nemean lions and those Colossus, I guess, and the Chimera as well later in the game. But against the Centaur, you're probably not going to feel it that much. Kimo, on the other hand, let's see if he's found those rhino. He has found those rhino. He hasn't found his relic just yet, though. His relic's over here. It's the Bow of Artemis, allowing himself to have the 15% cheaper archers and cheaper centaurs. So that's going to be cool there. We do see Kimo making his way over onto this location now, going to be grabbing those rhino, and we do have the temple coming up for Kimo as well. And this is actually a really, really difficult situation for Kimo to be in here. He's got himself these villagers going to be shooting away at the rhinoceros. And I guess we'll wait and see here. But 3antozz is known for getting out that early Theseus. So we'll see if that's what he's going to be doing here. Nope, he's not getting out the early Theseus. He doesn't know where the rhino are just yet. He hasn't scouted his opponent's base too well. And he's probably going to assume that his rhino, or his opponent's rhino, are just as safe as his own. So not getting that Theseus out, and we are seeing now 3antozz or 3antozz going to be going for what looks to be a fast second town center. Both of his town centers fairly average in terms of resources. This one's got some nice wood on it. He does have a couple of goat he can send over to this location to eat before he starts thinking about farming. But this game does seem like it's going to be going a little bit in order of the booming situation here, as Kimo's now got 10 villagers on food, 4 villagers on gold, 4 villagers on wood, starting to go through Hermes now very, very late. 5-minute advance time. We might see Kimo going for some sort of 1 town center shenanigans here. Is he getting himself upgrades? I do not see the upgrades coming through just yet. So we'll see what Kimo's going to do. He might try and go like 1 stable, 2 stable or something into a double town center or something like that. Build a couple of units and then go into a second town center. Just get the harass, because it is Savannah. It is a very open map here. As we see, the Theseus is out. 3antozz does hit the classical age very, very fast, but we haven't seen that second town center up just yet. So we'll see how it all goes. As now 3antozz swinging around here, checking out the wood situation and everything else as the villagers are moving up to this top location here. There are 3 gazelle here. It's not the most, but it will help out just a little bit. Kimo is going to be going through the through Hermes here, as 3antozz does acquire the Khopesh of Horus. Meanwhile, this location, we've got triple stable for Kimo. I like this play from Kimo. I like this play. It's Savannah. The wood lines are not secure at all, so you can very much raid those. 3antozz is probably 100% going to be getting this town center up, but he's not going to really be able to get the massive units out that he wants to be able to get. So it's going to be tough for him to deal with the aggression, but he does just need to make sure he doesn't lose any villages, and he should be in a really, really good position. So we'll see how Kimo is going to go now. Starting to make his Hippocon here. This Theseus just chilling right now after slaying his first Ketoskopos. And we'll see how this is all going to be going. And now the Theseus, just chilling. Come over here. Come over here to the temple. To the temple. Hippocon are starting to get going right now as they're seeing these Hippocon slide around the bottom of the map. Still looking for something to do. We do have some walls getting thrown up. Very early walls by 3antozz as he's realizing what Kimo's doing. He has spotted out the fact that this is triple stable here. I believe he saw those with his Ketoskopos, or at least has some inkling that Kimo is not going for 2 town centers here. As he's now going to be moving forward with his Hippocon, with his Centaur. Going to be looking for something to attack. We'll see what's going to happen here. Kimo's going to be moving forward here. Try and take down the Theseus. Try and take down the Hippolyta here. As these units are going to be very, very easily defending this location. More walls coming up for 3antozz. He is playing this hyper defensively as the stables are now coming down for 3antozz. Needs to throw up these wooden wall segments very, very shortly here. And we'll see how that's all going to go. The stable starting to get swiped at now as Kimo says, no stable for you, but the Centaur is under attack here. Hippocon turning around, going to be fighting this one, but the Hippolyta does miss that shot, and the Centaur does live to tell another tale as more Hippocon are coming in. We do see the Hippolyta has now started to come out. Kimo's got 700 food in the bank right now for some reason. Not sure exactly why that is. Obviously, he's got all the hunt in the world remaining here as he's about to take down another rhinoceros. These Hippocon going to be trying to slide in past this town center. They do see some villages, but I don't think they're going to get many villager kills at all. He does manage to pick off one, going to be leaving this location and managing to snipe one villager, but all the rest of those villagers get away from here. The question right now is, will 3antozz be able to get farms going? He's got all of these herdables here. He's got these rhinoceros. We do see 3antozz now moving up onto the berry bushes here. I like that play here. Oftentimes these berry bushes go by the wayside, but 3antozz playing this very smart thus far in order to get those. And we'll see where Kimo is going to be going from now on. He's still pumping those cavalry units out here. We're maybe seeing a classical, a heroic age fairly soon, potentially, if he decides to cancel the Hippocon production. He is taking down the stables, giving his opponent a couple of free militia here as they get immediately garrisoned into the sentry tower. Nice play there by 3antozz to keep those alive, as now Kimo still going after the next stable here, pulling his Hippocon away to target down his enemy Hippocon. We do see another stable here. Nice defensive building placement from 3antozz as Watchtowers comes up and Kimo decides he needs to leave here. We do see the Centaur moving into this location, going to be having his first look at blood here as he's going after a couple of these villages, but it does look like the tower does manage to take down that Centaur before it does too much damage. More houses coming up on this location for 3antozz as the stable is getting torn down, trying to open this location up, but the town center is helping out in the back, does a little bit of damage here to the Hippocon, but now we've got some more militia coming through for 3antozz. We'll be able to snipe one of those though, so nice play by Kimo to kill the stable and kill one militia. Meanwhile, villagers for Kimo moving up to this top location here, as he is, simply put, just spamming Hippocon and spamming non-stop Hippocon and trying to make this work, trying to put all the pressure onto 3antozz here, as he's going to be running through the opponent's base, looking for something to do. We see this this herdable here getting grabbed And we'll see where Kimo's going to be going in this game from here out. Kimo is retreating his units now, but these couple of random stray Hippocon over here getting pulled back. Let's see if Kimo can get this raid over here. There are some villagers on this wood line, but 3antozz is playing very, very nicely thus far. 111 of 115 population for Kimo. 3antozz, 73 of 100. If you're aware of how one town center aggression kind of goes, when you get to about 105 to 110 population, you should stop production of Hippocon and allow yourself to, like, one, go to the heroic age, but two, leave that population for more villages, unless there is a lot of fighting going on. If there's a lot of fighting going on, don't worry about it. It won't be that big of a deal here. We are seeing the Hippocon do manage to snipe one villager here as 3antozz is starting to get his farm transition going. 12 villagers on food right now, still has access to a rhinoceros that he's not eating. Lots of idle villagers for now for 3antozz. Needs to get those sorted out as Kimo being very, very aggressive in this game. He's got 872 gold in the bank. He needs to pull some of those villagers off and maybe jump over onto that herdable there. Get to the heroic age. You don't necessarily need to start that farm transition here. But we'll see how it's all going to go, as now we do have the rhino here getting grabbed finally, as Kimo just runs straight through this base. Going to be looking to hit this gold mine, as 3antozz is potentially going to be out of gold very, very soon. 650 gold remaining, and we see a second town center coming up for Kimo, as he's deciding better stay in the classical age than anything else here. Still taking down villagers. 3antozz still with that slight advantage here at this point. If we want to see exactly what the advantage is, let's, oops, wrong button. We check out the post game, jump into the civilian units, and you can see we've got 50 to 40. So we've got a 10 villager lead right now for 3antozz. That is going to stay at a 10 villager lead until 3antozz gets up to 80 villagers. And the town center will be up for Kimo, so he's going to try and make some sort of a catch up. We see more farms coming up for 3antozz. He does need to go up to roughly the amount of farms or villages on food that he's got right now. 15 villages here, plus these 8 farms. Looking about right. Maybe a couple more wouldn't go astray. And we'll see how this is all going to go. 3antozz now sneaking up onto this location, making sure he can try and secure it, because he needs that gold here, and Kimo's just going to be retreating away. He does have himself Spirited Charge, Medium Hippocon, and nothing else thus far, I think. Yes. And we'll see how it all works, as now the Hippocon strolling up to this top side of the map here. And 3antozz moving here as well, as he can't really do all too much. He's very short on the gold. Does look like he wants to go to the next age. Kimo, on the other hand, still not going there, and he does go up to 3 town centers here. So Kimo is going to be doing the thing where he just shoots up to full population of villages, 80 villages here, try and erase the deficit that that 3antozz has created here before going to the Mythic Age. Whereas what 3antozz can do now is stay 2 town center, go Mythic Age, and have a very, very nice game here. The problem for 3antozz is short on gold. He has pickaxe, no hand axe, no ability to get himself shaft mine, only 17 villages on gold. He's going to get that gold very soon. He could cancel these Hippocon and be advancing right now, which is very, very important, but not happening just yet, as we see these units pushing in here, doing the stuff that they need to do. But I think 3antozz Hippocon should be losing this fight, to be honest. That it's looking like 20 Hippocon here for 3antozz, and the choke point too strong versus Kimo's 18. So Kimo going to be retreating away here. And we'll see how that's all going to go. Do see some walls now coming up for Kimo. He sends his Theseus over to slay the lion, because I think he must have lost a villager over on that location there. We'll see Kimo walking through his opponent's base right now. Do we have crenellations? We do not. So these Hippocon are going to go through pretty much untouched, and with the speed boost, he might be able to get onto these gold villages right now, but 3antozz is going to preemptively move his villages forward up onto this gold mine here in an attempt to keep his gold mining alive, And 3antozz should be Mythic Age or Heroic Age right now. He's 20% Aphrodite. Kimo, on the other hand, he's still pumping his villagers out, still getting those farms going. You can see this is correct here from Kimo. 32 villagers on farms, potentially more farms coming down. He's got 22 farms here, lots of villagers remaining on food. Going to be shooting that food up very, very fast. We do see this wooden wall going to be taken out, and Kimo's going to escape here fairly easily if he so chooses. 3antozz going to be getting his third town center up now. And we'll see how that's all going to go. He retreats away. More villagers getting produced. We do see an armory now coming up for Kimo as he's gearing up to go to the Heroic Age. We'll see how that's all going to go. Now Kimo moving down onto this location. Can try and attack this large gold mine. 3antozz hits the Heroic Age through Aphrodite though, so it does have to be. So Kimo does have to be a little bit careful now. He's going to have to deal with a curse and the fact that all these units are out. Do we have Spirited Charge just yet? Still no Spirited Charge for 3antozz. He's going to be looking for some raids. Going to run straight past this town center. Maybe have his eyes onto this location. He does snipe one villager here. Moving on to this location, he's going to look at taking out some more of Kimo's villagers as they are all trapped in onto this location. But Kimo pulling back with his own medium Hippocon, going to be looking to get some damage done here. And we will be seeing 3antozz retreat away, still trying to stay away from this. Do we see any upgrades coming through here for 3antozz? He is getting himself heavy cavalry and Spirited Charge, able to turn around now and take this fight. We see the curse coming down onto this location. We've got 17 cavalry, 17 heavy Hippocon against Kimo, who's got a lot less Hippocon, to be sure, only 14. So this should go the way of 3antozz here if it makes any sense. But it looks like a couple of Hippocon aren't actually fighting, and it's going to be a very, very close fight after all. And it seems like more units are going to be streaming in here for Kimo as he does decide to continue taking this fight. And it's looking like Kimo will end up cleaning these Hippocon up even with the technology deficit here. Nice play by Kimo. Kimo's also looking like he's still producing a bunch of these Hippocon, and he should be advancing, and that's exactly what he's doing. Aphrodite is on the way now. 3antozz, on the other hand, has clicked up through Hephaestus. Hephaestus on the way for 3antozz. He's playing this game incredibly well thus far, and we'll see exactly how it's going to work. He's going to throw his Plenivolt down. He's got one armory up. He's going to have that favor potentially there. He needs 35 favor for Forge of Olympus on Vubli. So he's going to make sure he's got that. Get himself Forge of Olympus and be in a very nice position here. But Kimo is doing Kimo things. And look, guys, this is what I'm making a prediction. This is what Age of Empires 4 is going to look like in about 3 months. When people realize that this is really, really good, this is what Age of Empires 4 is going to turn into, if it's not already turned into it. So go and enjoy that when you can. And if you are still playing Age of Empires 4, I implore you to try these walling strategies out and tell me how you go, because it's pretty funny. Anyways, let's continue this game and see how 3antozz is going to deal with what Kimo's doing here. Kimo has hit the Mythic Age or Heroic Age now. You don't see him having a marker down just yet. He is throwing that down in the corner. There is a sneaky villager who's made his way through, but can we have just a moment's silence for the villager that just fell into Tartarus to visit Hades? All right, and we continue. The Plentivolt over here gets cast down for 3antozz. Kimo's thrown down his own armories. 3antozz still has not clicked up Forge of Olympus. He'll be getting that very, very soon, I'm sure. No, he's deciding to get a fortress instead. Meanwhile, these villagers are getting pushed off this gold mine over here. As 3antozz is set up, Kimo is trying to figure out a way back into this game here. And here comes the Hephaestus. Kimo does cast himself the curse over on this location. He is making... Antozz is deciding to transition now into hoplites, which I do like. Once you got all these walls set up, it's very, very nice. We are going to be seeing Antozz try and take down this stone gate here with the Colossus. More hoplites streaming in here. The fortress not going to be able to get up. Kimo's got plenty of favor in the bank to get himself that upgrade, and Antozz still has not gotten himself Forge of Olympus. It's like he's saying, yeah, I don't care. I don't care about having any sort of timing advantage here. See the fortress now coming back up, and there's the Forge of Olympus here, a third armory coming down for Antozz. How are the economic upgrades looking? Basically fully upgraded. Just needs flight control and carpenters, and he's there. Kimo, on the other hand, exactly similar position, and he'll be able to be fixing that up very shortly as well. But Antozz has got the advantage here. He's pushing through. He's got the stronger infantry units, but the Hephaestus are a good option here for Kimo to deal with the hoplites that are streaming in. So Antozz is going to have to think about what he wants to actually be making here, because he can't just keep making hoplites against Toxotes Hephaestus. He's going to have to work it out. So maybe you're going to start seeing some Toxotes come through. Maybe we start seeing some more Hippocon flooding in onto this location. We do see the Atlanta coming in, trying to take down the Colossus, and he does manage to take that one down just before he get onto that large gold mine to start getting the gold or the HP back. But there's the mythic age for Kimo. Kimo's at 133 of 145 population. Antozz is at 130 of 160 population, and he does get this fortress up, and he's instantly queued up the beastly Polyphemus here, and we will be starting to see the copper shields, mail, and weapons coming through. Kimo gets the instant Forge of Olympus, knows exactly what he needs to get to continue in this game here, and it's basically just going to come down to, can Kimo hold? If Kimo can hold, and get level and tech, then it's all about late game skills, and we'll see how these players are going to be able to manage the late game here if we end up going there, or if Antozz is going to make some ground here. He's still pushing through, and looks like the army quality and size of Kimo is currently outclassing the pure hoplites that Antozz is making here. But we are starting to see this Polyphemus going to be able to push through just a little bit, starting the trade route now for both players. Antozz's trade route is very, very nice already. Kimo's is just starting. Kimo's got 2 gold mines remaining, so he's going to have plenty of time to get that gold sorted. He can also come up and snake this gold mine for a little bit here. So we are now starting to see the Heliopoli coming in for Antozz. It's going to help take down these buildings much, much faster. But there's a Polyphemus out for Kimo as well. So double beastly unit here. As both these players very aware of what is strong and what is not. We've got full bronze research now by Antozz. And Kimo is going up to full copper. He is still fighting against the full copper army, or full bronze army, with no upgrades. So it's going to help him out a lot when he gets those upgrades. But just because of those Hephaestus, of those Toxotes, and the fact that Antozz is not transitioned away from the hoplites here, Kimo is able to trade here very, very efficiently. We see that full copper coming through now. Do we see the iron coming through? We have full iron now for Antozz coming through. He's going to have just a little bit of time to play with here with that advantage, but he's full population here. I don't know where the rest of his units are, but he needs to start thinking about targeting other locations. He does have some forward stables getting thrown up over here, more walls coming up on this location here. The Toxotes getting some good damage done as Hippolyta is getting taken down. These militia here trying to get some good damage done to the Toxotes, but Antozz has Toxotes out now, so see what he's going to be able to do. We see the Colossus going to be trying to eat this gold mine, and Kimo has managed to push Antozz back. He's finally deciding to start retreating away as full iron comes in. Divine blood, heavy archers. Kimo, on the other hand, just about to get full bronze. He's not going to be able to afford full iron very shortly, or at all, as now the Colossus is basically up to full HP after nearly being dead there. Just sitting here, eating this gold mine, just living the dream. The Polyphemus getting pulled back. We do see a stray fortress coming up on this location for Antozz as he's trying to figure out a way through this location here. He's got full iron. He's got heavy Toxotes, heavy hoplites. He's got the advantage here. We just need to wait and see if he can actually use it. The Theseus going after the Colossus over here. This Heliopolis has got 19 HP remaining and still getting a lot of damage done. Meanwhile, Fortress coming up for Kimo as well, as 3antozz' Fortress is almost up here. And we'll see how this is all going to go, as now the Theseus going to be taking down the Colossus here. And we'll see if he can actually end up finishing it. Full Iron Theseus in the Mythic Age should be able to take down this Colossus as well. We are seeing the Toxotes trying to snipe. The Theseus does manage to fix up that Colossus, as these guys are still just going to be pushing into each other. We do see our stray heavy Hetairoi coming through, going to break down the first of Kimo's 3 stone gates over here. And we'll see how this is all going to end up going. Burning Pitch comes through here for 3antozz, or for Kimo, sorry. I think I actually would have preferred to see getting into heavy or champion archers instead of that, but now towers starting to come up for Kimo, so he's going to start pushing through. The question is, how's the economy looking? 3antozz' economy pretty good, getting himself masons. He's got himself fully upgraded. Yes, he's got every upgrade he needs. Does he have coinage as well? He's got coinage. Stop making trade route for the time being, as he feels like he's got enough trade. Kimo, on the other hand, he's got himself more trade coming through. A bunch of idle villagers on this location. He's got himself fully upgraded on terms of those. We see the next stone gate getting targeted down, as 3antozz is going to break through these eventually. He's going to be very angry to see yet another stone wall he has to push through, but no problems here for him. He's got those Hetairoi. They'll get taken down very, very quickly. We see 3antozz just sitting back waiting as another Heliopoli coming through. Meanwhile, Polyphemus coming in, taking down the fortress with the assistance of 2 Heliopoli here. Nice play from Kimo to recognize this as a weakness and dealing with it immediately. And meanwhile, Toxotes still flooding in here. We do have watchtowers coming through for Kimo. So we see these Heliopoli doing some nice damage. Look at this damage here. I think there's a little bit potentially of splash damage. Not really. No splash damage, but you can like shoot and get the arrows hitting multiple different units. We see now 3antozz deciding to take down this fortified town center as the militia do pop out of this location here. Heavy militia, full iron, doing work. We still do not see full iron from Kimo, so Kimo's still not able to trade too efficiently thus far, and we do see some Prodromus coming up onto this location. Very smart to build Prodromus to deal with these Hetairoi. And given that you have Prodromus here in this mirror, even for Zeus and Hades, it's almost not worth it to build Hetairoi against them, just because they have that answer as a response. You see one tower getting taken down, as we're still seeing going for this fortress yet again. I think I would have liked just to save fortress back here. He has it, so he just needs to keep building those units out of that. He is getting himself Polyphemus. Maybe stop production of those Toxotes. A little bit of the late game difficulty is working out when you want to stop auto-queuing units and instead making sure you're keeping up that Deathfall comp that is super strong, making sure you keep getting Heliopoli, Polyphemus instantly coming out, making sure that that is in your army. Otherwise, your pushes don't work so well. Because right now, Kimo's 143 of 160 population. 3antozz is 160 of 160 population. There should be pushing happening here, and he is managing to push the towers, but not much else. As we do see over here, a hoplite going to come in, going to attempt to take down these Prodromus. Funnily enough, I don't think that one champion hoplite is enough to beat 3 medium Prodromus here, as it's looking like the champion hoplite will be falling, but it doesn't matter so much, as 3antozz is still pushing in more towers up here. Wouldn't mind an attempt at making Petropolis as well as a wall here. Would be very, very good. We are seeing 3antozz swinging around the left side of the map as well, trying to stranglehold Kimo, as this stone gate is getting closer and closer to falling here. And these towers fully set up, but again, we're just streaming in more Toxotes, more hoplites. These Toxotes probably aren't going to die. If anything, just cut the Toxotes from auto queue, and that way you get hoplites, Heliopoli to push in. And we'll see how this is all going to work here. We do see this This gate getting taken down. More towers coming up now for 3antozz. More hoplites getting taken down. Nice play. And there's the Polyphemus out. So he's going to be very, very helpful at taking this location down. Meanwhile, over here, we've got another Hetairoi going to be taking down this stone gate over here. Why only stop at 3 walls? You could make a 4th wall and then a 5th wall as well. Why just 3? Meanwhile, we do have a cheeky side raid coming in here from Kimo. We'll see if 3antozz is going to notice it. It looks like there's a dot coming up by 3antozz to potentially make some transport chips or something. But Kimo's got his eyes set on this market here to try and shut down 3antozz's trade route. Meanwhile, still no ground being really made by 3antozz, though he has got the towers up, he's got the wall up. So it could be time to start making those Petropolis, but you do need to think about getting siege engineers as well here. So we see a tower popping up here, doing all of the good things. And we do see the Polyphemus over here sniping down a villager. The buildings coming in on this location, making some hoplites out here. We got the champion hoplites coming through for 3antozz as he's trying to figure out how he's going to come over here and defend this location. 3antozz 157 of 160 population. 6 villages currently on gold. And this is the only market. No, he's got 2 markets here. But it's still going to be a tough situation for him to be in. If he loses this location, obviously he could possibly go over here and put a market here and then trade to this town center. It's not as good, but it's still going to be absolutely fine. We see the Heliopoli trying to take down this fortress over here. So we'll see how that's going to go. Now 3antozz 152 of 160 population. Not much gold in the bank, but he does sell a whole bunch of food now. He's getting himself engineers. He's getting himself the Petropolis. And he is having to come over here and deal with this. So these buildings are starting to shoot up in this location. The Polyphemus taking down all of these militia here nicely. And we'll see how this is all going to go. Hoplites swinging around here. Going to go after this Polyphemus. Try and finish that one off. This is a very, very good distraction by Kimo now, as he's going to be attempting to push through over here. We've got 2 Heliopoli over here. This is opening up this location for 3antozz to sneak in and start towering. That's exactly what he needs to do. He's got a couple of idle Hetairoi over here as well, which he could be using. Meanwhile, Kimo's still trying to push through these towers. Obviously, that's very good if he could do that. So you do see the Polyphemus finally getting taken down. And we do see this wall is up now by 3antozz, and he's got basically completely walled over here, but he should be thinking about, well, that happened once, let me put a stop to it and wall over here as well, and that way he could deal with that for later. So we are seeing these Petropolis starting to fling their boulders at Kimo. Meanwhile, we've got 1 Oxy Juggernaut. Not sure exactly what the idea of this Oxy Juggernaut is. It's 3 populations sitting here kind of idle, taking out stables, which give Kimo militia, which I don't get, but he's going for it. So we'll see how it's all going to go. And meanwhile, Kimo is very aware that he needs to just hold this location, get himself to full iron. Is he at full iron yet? He is full iron. He just needs full iron, full champion. Get himself those guard towers, and he's going to be sweet. He's still trying to defend this location, throwing on up another wall here. Very nice play. We're starting to see some of those Opaspers coming out of the military academy now. This is very, very nice from Kimo to deal with this, but he needs something more in on this location. And that's something more. He's sending the Polyphemus back in. Going to keep this pressure onto this. But we do see 3antozz has made his way through here, chucking up the towers, going to be taking down this market. Again, Kimo can just put a market up right here if he so chooses. He doesn't have the wood for it, but he could put up a market in this corner and start trading to this town center instead. And Kimo, slowly but surely, managing to trade here very efficiently as these Petropolis are coming out, but now no towers, so you need to go back into Heliopoli. You can't be building Petropoli without... Can't be building Petropoli without towers and walls, basically. But that's what he's going for, and I guess there's nothing to really deal with it just yet. We do see the Hetairoi have managed to kill Kimo's market, and these are all sad, idle donkey caravans now for Kimo. Very sad indeed. But 3antozz about to lose his market here. Do we see a market down this side? No, we do not. The market's got 85 HP remaining on it. And that's like the last one. We are starting to see some towers here for Kimo as both players going after each player's respective trade route. We see another market up now by Kimo on this location right next to these fortresses, so he should be okay. Meanwhile, the Metropolis of Kimo trying to prevent buildings from going up, any sort of push happening here. Doing very, very nicely thus far, as we do see the market is thrown up somewhere. Must be here. Yep, there's the market. There's the trade route. Started yet again. As Apollophamus is in here for 3antozz, but leaving that market alive with 85 HP is a very, very confusing move here by Kimo. I'm not sure what his plan is. Maybe he just isn't aware that it's so low HP. So we are seeing these Metropolis still trying to push in here. So now 3antozz has got some sort of initiative going here. He's got those Metropolis. I'd love to see this wall finished up here for 3antozz, just right along here, making sure no cavalry can sort of come in here. You can get this happening onto this location here. Should be okay. Just kind of like that would be fine. And now the town center getting taken down very slowly. There's a couple of villages repairing it, but it is going down nonetheless. Meanwhile, more units over onto this location. The market has been destroyed. Do we see another market getting thrown down somewhere? We do not. And here's the thing, right? What you can do if you're in this predicament where your opponent's got strong control of both corners, you can put a market on one town center here and then another market on this town center, and then you just micro the bejeebers out of it, and you can actually increase your trade route speed by 100%, because instead of having to dump the resources off of the other market, you garrison in one market and then you bring them over to the other town center, and you just rinse and repeat on the other market. It's very, very micro intense, but it gives you a lot of gold. Have to set up control groups and be very aware of what you're trying to do. But just a little idea there if you think you need some more gold. Yes. Anyways, Apollophamus does get taken down as the Metropolis flinging their boulders, doing some good stuff. So fortified town center. Still getting taken down, but Kimo's somehow holding on to this. We've got 10 villagers right now over here. Meanwhile, some stray villagers coming in for Kimo. Love this. Does 3antozz see it, though? 3antozz has got clear... Wait, this is... Yeah, 3antozz has got clear line of sight that there's 4 villagers on this location, but it's going to be tough for him to actually fully notice it. So we'll see what Kimo's going to do. Maybe he goes into the corner here. He snipes down those militia, and those villagers disappear. You see Heliopoli getting sniped nicely. And what's Kimo doing over here? Throws up one military academy. And we are seeing more units coming over here to try and take down these buildings here. I'd love to see just Kimo go fortress here. Fortress on the back of this town center. But Kimo does end up losing this town center here. Very nice players. 3antozz is finally starting to make some ground, but Kimo's got the response. Settlement on the way. And 3antozz decides time to go Titan Age. 3antozz with the resource advantage here. He's decided to put it to use. Get to the Titan Age first and see what he can do. These are Greek mirror, so the Titan is how you going. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's just what it is. I guess we'll have to just wait and see if it's going to do anything here in this game, ladies and gentlemen. And all these villagers getting pulled back, and what Kimo can actually do here is very, very cheeky. He's going to get his town center back. He's throwing up some... Well, 3antozz is throwing up some walls here, but Kimo's got potential side build. And if 3antozz gets a bit flimsy with his Tartarian gate or his Titan gate and puts it like here, these units can just flood in and then take that down before it is even started. So we'll see if that's going to be what Kimo goes for. 3antozz got so many resources in the bank. Kimo with next to none. We do see basically late game dream here for 3antozz. Hoplite, Toxotes, Petropolis. He needs to kill off the siege though, otherwise he just loses everything though. The town center is under siege yet again. We do see some militia raids coming in. The militia raids coming in hot. Kimo's still not kind of doing anything on this location here. There's the Titan gate here for 3antozz. And where's he going to throw it? Seeing a fortress coming up over here as the Heliopolis is getting taken down, and Kimo hits the Titan Age as well. Both players able to get their own Titan gate in this game. But 3antozz is just like, maybe I don't care. Maybe I just want to keep putting pressure on. Get more resources if you can. Now seeing this Juggernaut here getting some value. It's been out for quite a while now. As the town center is still getting taken down. More towers coming onto this location. Kimo with not much siege here at all, which is beautiful for 3antozz. Try and take down this fortified town center. So there is the Titan gate here by Kimo. Titan gate by 3antozz. And what's Kimo got over here? Cheeky monkey. Making some Hetairoi. Going straight after this Titan gate. 400 HP, 500 HP, 600 HP, and the Hetairoi get onto it. And we'll see how fast or if they can even take this down. And it is looking like he's going to be able to take down the Titan gate. 3antozz gets absolutely destroyed here by Kimo's side build Hetairoi. What an insane play. 3antozz gets the town center down, doesn't ceasefire the Hetairoi raid, loses his Titan gate, but will get himself 4 town centers here. But Kimo's got access to a Titan. What a wild turn of events here, as Kimo is got all of the hopes and dreams in this game are so alive and well. He's throwing everything onto this Titan gate, trying to get it up as fast as he humanly can. Could delete this armory to get these villagers onto it, but he hasn't done that just yet. So we'll see how that's going to go. Meanwhile, we've got these Hetairoi trying to take down 3antozz's fortified town center here. The market up in this corner, as we do see a cheeky wall getting thrown up on here as well. Is now 3antozz might want to think about coming directly for this Titan gate. He definitely can. Kimo's got not many units here at all, but instead we see him opting to try and take down the military academy, take down the fortress and everything else. He could definitely walk up here, get some real big damage done, and prevent that Titan gate even from coming up as well. We see more militia coming in here for Kimo, as he's able to basically defend this resourceless, doesn't have to spend anything. He's also got his own Petropolis coming in here, going to be able to take down 3antoz's town center that he's just built. Very, very nice play here from Kimo. 3antozz not reacting to this at all, not well at all. These Hetairoi over here not doing exactly what I thought they would do, but they have been pushed back here by 3antozz. He's got some Prodromus there as well, and in that moment, 3antozz decides it's too hard for him, taps out 4 town centers to 2 town centers with the score lead, decides to tap out. GG. Well played by Kimo, just simply managing to prevent 3antozz from getting his Titan gate, or his Titan out. What an incredible play there by Kimo. Kind of behind the whole game. Tried to make one town center, 3 stables work here. 3antozz was having none of it. Played the early game, the mid game immaculately. Just didn't quite get the siege he needed out in a timely fashion to take this town center down. And then it was a bit of a stalemate. Did make some ground, but then lost his Titan Gate, and that was the game. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.